me at any time. Start of our presentation orientation. Around 345,000 customers around the globe in 190 countries are there, and 80% of SAP customers basically are small, medium enterprises are there, and then SAP customer includes 87% of the Forbes Globe's 2,000 companies are there, and 98% of the 100 most valued brands, 100% of the Dow Jones top scoring sustainability companies are there. And our customer, basically as SAP said that 78% of the world's total food, 82% of the world's medical devices, and 76% of world transaction revenue touches SAP system. And these are the highlights and how basically from as SAP is bringing its solution from end-to-end solution perspective, strategy and business modeling perspective, as well as market position. And right now S4 HANA in an early adoption stage, and less than 2 to 5% customer basically has adopted it, and still we have a lot of customers they are wanted to go into S4 HANA platform. So currently you can see from lab perspective, there are many different labs which are working 24/7 around the globe. And why these labs are working? Because now SAP has 45 years old, and based on these 45 years of journey, SAP basically developed from R1 to right now S4 HANA Enterprise Management. So it has consistent history. Its application language basically is ABAP, and it's basically working around the globe. Why these labs are working around the globes? Because SAP is a global software, and based on its global presence and based on the its industry specific needs, as well as it's called customization needs, statutory needs. Basically that's why these labs are working consistently across the globe, and that's the reason it's getting popular nowadays across the globe. And what are the reason for financial transformations? And those who are new into SAP, and just wanted to let them know that SAP has divided some of the courses. So we have a very fundamental courses is called SAP FICO area, which basically TekTaurus has taught on their we have two simultaneous classes are going on. First normally is called as SAP FICO core courses are there, and the second is called advanced level courses, where basically those individuals who wanted to go into S4 HANA, so they have to develop, because they have already core courses and they know the core courses details in the areas of financial accounting and their modules, general ledger, accounts payable, account receivable, bank accounting, fixed asset, as well as in controlling module, which is aka management accounting, that basically cost center, profit center, profitability analysis, product costing, as well as cash and liquidity management in the areas of financial accounting. So these are basically the core areas which basically TekTaurus normally we teach. And this is basically a little bit advanced course of called S4 HANA Finance. In S4 HANA there are some certain steps which the consultant basically have to follow in order to give the results to the S4 HANA community, and that's the reason S4 HANA, if you apply for the job, S4 HANA will ask you your basic skill set and expertise basically is also there. That's the reason I was earlier asking about your skill set and expertise. And what's the needs of this financial transformations? So we have a true reason of this financial transformation, which is the reason for financial transformation, because there's increasing complexity of the external conditions when you are working globally, and all the other conditions are day to day basically increasing and expanding, and the pressure to support global growth initiatives as well as new business model. So when you are working in a global industry, and all the time there are new business growth is there, acquisition and mergers are there, and sometimes based on the acquisition and mergers, so we have to take care of a different business model and directly wanted to integrate into our business, required to reduce the cost of operations. So every CEO and every company wanted to reduce their size of their cost of operation. That's the reason every company wanted to go into that kind of a environment and that kind of a platform where they can having a strong integration as well as state-of-the-art reporting requirement basically is available, and accelerated adoption of technology innovation, whatever the technology basically is now nowadays are coming into the industry, and the company wanted to spend as well as the company wanted to get that kind of a technology into their platform so they can generate their reports as per their requirement based on the industry. So millennial work style enabled by networks and mobility. Millennial peoples are those people which basically born after 90s or early 90s to 2017, and those people basically are called millennial people. And those millennial people basically, every now and then you can see that nowadays Facebook as well as all the social media platforms are very active. Nowadays information has gone very briskly and very fast, and those due to this now Facebook as well as the other social media, they also offer some of the payment methods, some of the other payment details, as well as the social media basically are directly integrated into their different platforms as well as social platform. That's the reason everybody wanted to go into that kind of a uh, solution as well as that kind of a software where they can bring in all the data into the stream, and from stream they wanted to get the data from desktop to their laptop to their tablets to their iPhone. That's why these are the things basically every company wanted to get these kind of stuff into their reporting perspective. And explosion of big data basically is a kind of a structured and unstructured data, and you wanted to see all of the data in a structured form, and that's why due to these reasons now the company are looking for some kind of a solution where they basically directly wanted to see this kind of a detail into their S4 HANA perspective. And what was the CFO said in 2014 and onward, they said 87% of the finance executives say the need to analyze financial and performance data much more quickly to meet targets for profitable growth in the areas of they wanted consolidation of financial management as well as operational data is there. They wanted single financial data source for transaction analytics as well as planning is involved, and a reduction of duplication as well as need for reconciliation. This was said, and this is the CFO. All the data has been taken, and that's why due to this reason, the transformation basically was inevitable. That's the reason SAP has already done this kind of a transformation, and 83% of the finance executive agree that better information reporting and data visualization capabilities would help line of business managers make better decisions, and these real-time processes to allow finance to transform their organization as well as personalized self-service access to their key performance indicator with granular level of our details, and they wanted to see everything in a detailed form. And due to this reason again transformation was inevitable, and business and social networks are also part of this. You can see business and social networks are everywhere. And then 91% of finance executives said that to meet targets and profile growth, the finance function will need to become a better providing managers as well as to forward-looking predictive analytics are there. And SAP has provided a very good predictive analytics because now embedded analytics are there in the form of a cash management as well as integrated business planning and for finance. So these basically everything is help us to transform these kind of a requirement which basically already industry has faced. And then one consistent view of financial and operational data, use one information source for all types of a transaction, and that's the reason you can see our enterprise application. Now you can see SAP ERP is there, SAP BPC business planning, consolidation is there, SAP CRM is there, SAP business intelligence is there. This is an HANA platform, and internal and external data is there. All SAP ERP legacy system, everything basically is coming into the S4 HANA, and the basic and core technology of financial accounting, management accounting, cash and management, pretty much the same way we have a material management, same way we have a logistics. Their core functionality has the same, with only thing their platform technology basically has been changed. And what's basically the platform technology? As I will progress, I will let you know in detail as we move on. So transforming finance with the instant insights. So now the companies are really interested and advise the business on M&A, merger and acquisition, product introductions are their financial planning and analysis. Basically, the company wanted to see it right away in their joint collaboration and accounting and financial close. They also wanted to see before the closing will happen. They wanted to see the closing soft close well before. Let's say that if the 30th, if the 5th of every month is a closing, and they wanted to see on the same night, 29th or 30th, what basically my soft close look like. Previously, it wasn't possible, and now you can see your analysis, planning, and everything. Even your predictive analysis you can see, and you can also see your soft close. in the same fashion, because right now data is not a big deal to managing data, as well as on the fly data. You can do your soft close in the S4HANA system. And previously in ERP system, now we cannot see. Now in S4HANA we have a tremendous potential to see these kind of a thing. And similarly, we have a treasury and financial risk management with the joint collaboration of our cash management data with bank communication data, as well as with our accounts payable and receivables. Instead of a prior day cash position, we can see our day-to-day cash position. Not only day-to-day cash position, but we also see our borrowing as well as our investment through these reports. These are very state-of-the-art reporting capabilities basically available, and some of the modules are still under lab. So where they wanted to see the investment perspective and everything basically will coming on us for S4HANA. Collaborative finance, when I say collaborative finance, previously S4HANA, we have a different releases were there. And now collaborative finance mean if you are working in logistics, if you are working in sales and distribution, if you are working in HR, if you are working in whatever resources you have in your organization based on your needs and requirements, SAP Finance basically having a collaborative tool, and it provides you as per your needs, and wherever your needs are there from analysis perspective, from your reporting perspective, SAP provides you from financial perspective all the planning as well as the integrated planning. All the data basically is available from this perspective. And then operation enterprise risk and compliance perspective is also there. Previously compliance, governance and compliance basically is a separate, and now everything was interwoven, and you can see all the reports are basically easily and available through this 1605 as well as 1610. These are the latest releases of SAP, which is basically called enterprise resource. Previously it was called enterprise resource planning, and now it's called enterprise management, S4 enterprise management. And now it's SAP is going into is called digital core. Digital core basically is a new terminology from SAP, as well as those who are already in the industry and those who are just wanted to know. Now the word basically is called digital core. When you say digital core, state of it's a near to you can say there is a no latency is there. As soon as the real-time business is there, if you wanted to see your analysis in the same type of a business, whether you wanted to analyze predictive analysis, all sorts of analysis, as well as reporting capabilities based on the dashboard, based on the different objects, based on the OpenStack technology. So you name it, and the reports are there. And you can also develop, it's called Internet of Things. Internet of Things basically on top of SAP, on top of business object, on top of dashboard reporting. If you wanted to develop any sorts of reporting capability, you can develop it in this platform. And it's on top of Fiori. You can develop lots of business objects are there. SAP S4 applications is basically is not only finance application, but it's basically logistics applications are there, as well as you have in logistics we have a material management, sales and distribution, as well as we have a production. Similarly, we have different types of productions. Everything basically is integrated, strongly integrated, and providing us. These are called S4 HANA application, and natively S4 HANA application is also integrated on the cloud. In cloud, we have a Concur. Basically, when you wanted to do any kind of a travel and expense, you can do. Your Concur integration is there. Whenever you wanted to do your purchasing, online purchasing, Ariba is there. Whenever you wanted to do yours is called resource management is there. Ariba, sorry, field glass tool is there. And if you wanted to do your, it's called SuccessFactors basically is also there. Whenever you wanted to manage your employees within your organization, and based on their roles and authorization, and based on their quarterly projects base, if you wanted to see your rating and everything, you can also do SuccessFactors. So you can see everything basically is interwoven, interconnected, and if you have a, I'm just giving you this kind of analysis, though we will discuss in detail further. And if you have a e-commerce solutions are there, SAP has already provided us the e-commerce solution, and e-commerce solution basically is directly integrated in the platform, and this way basically they are giving us the bestest of the best digital core overview. So here you can see in SAP Fiori, previously we don't have a web interface on top of our SAP system, and now through SAP Fiori, so based on the it's called user profile. So based on, let's say if you are a AR manager, so accounts payable manager, based on your roles, all of the transaction has been directly under your role, and you can easily see, easily navigate, and you can also utilize your business intelligence reports, as well as you can also utilize your reports in the form of a dashboard reports, different objects report through Fiori. And SAP HANA platform is not only a database, database is also there, but it has replacing the database of Oracle. Now it has its own database, and that database is directly integrated with ABAP. And through ABAP, we have a CDS, core data services views are there. And there's a major change basically has happened in the SAP data architect as well as logistic architect perspective, as well as other major releases. There are lots of data architect changes basically has happened. This way basically is provide us the we offer digital core, a digital economy. So here you can see we have S4 HANA globalization financials perspective. So we have a different industries are there, different countries are there, and different languages are there. Here you can see from language perspective, now SAP is working in 39 different languages, 63 countries are there, and 25 different industries are there. And this basically SAP S4 HANA is called on-premise. So on-premise 1610, these are the called SAP S4 HANA Enterprise Management is there. And here you can see S4 HANA Finance is there, S4 HANA Human Resources are there, S4 HANA Source and Procurements are there, S4 HANA basically Supply Chain is there, and SAP S4 HANA then activation and all other basically information basically is available. And based on this information at the bottom you can see S4 HANA Marketing, then Services, then Sales, as well as SAP HANA Asset Management is there, as well as SAP HANA Research and Technology basically is there. So based on these technology, so you can see at the bottom, this is basically on SAP Hybris software. SAP Hybris basically is based when you are working in e-commerce industry and you wanted to give with the solution or based on the e-commerce needs, and based on the e-commerce needs, when you are working on different website and your customers wanted to visit them, and based on their products they wanted to purchase their products, how basically you wanted to do for marketing and how basically you reach your so everything basically is available. It's called Hybris software basically is there. And Hybris sales perspective, again this is a Hybris software platform basically is there. And from sales perspective, it has also given you all the products as well as suites as well as different modules basically are there. And similarly we have a SAP services are there, and all the service related products as well as modules are also basically built in this enterprise management software are there. And from SAP asset management perspective, S4 HANA asset management perspective, when you are working from in manufacturing environment and plant maintenance and all the plants who are directly integrated from asset perspective, basically this module is providing us a details of all that, how you can basically manage and how your assets plants basically are directly integrating with your manufacturing, and how from manufacturing perspective how your asset basically are depreciated based on your asset management, and how your plant maintenance orders basically are being managed and maintained it. And to talk about your S4 HANA research and technology, S4 HANA research and technology is basically providing all the details of research and technology based on small to big level, and based on other industry specific solution are different apart from this enterprise management solution. So these are the solution, on-premise solutions are there, and these are the industry. You can see 6 industry are on cloud, in 19 countries, 10 different languages basically are there. This is 2-3 months old, and this is the latest basically. I'm just giving you the information of the latest information of the industry. And here is the business compliance in the digital worlds. So presently 63 country version of S4 HANA on-premise 1610. This is a later edition, and at the bottom you can see different countries of the world basically are there. And here are 1611 is basically cloud edition, and there are 19 different countries across the globe which are working in this scenario. And here are from S4 HANA financial perspective, S4 HANA on OP mean on-premise 1610, stay compliance in a global environments. Nowadays, in order to fulfill the legal and statutory needs, the companies requested us that they wanted to send us the all the reports in a digitized format perspective, and how basically from enterprise perspective, how from financial perspective we will fulfill these needs. From enterprise digital compliance services are there, business transaction and legal reportings are there, and legal authorities, you name it, and different countries are there. So yes, you can send these reports from SAP. Previously we have to develop some kind of interface some kind of a development, some kind of a, because it was a gap was identified, and then we have to develop some certain interfaces. Now these reports are directly sent from e-documents to respective legal authorities, and you can see in Chile, good receipts are there, customer invoices are there, Czech Republic, and different names of the country, and their requests basically is also there. Customer invoices in Italy, Pepiro, Spain, then Piro, then Brazil. So different reporting format and structure basically are there. Then VAT, periodic return, withholding tax, sales list, financial statements, audit file, VAT sales and purchase, and balance of payment, asset reporting, legal cash reporting, foreign trade declaration, and then transport tax as well as goods and services tax. So we need to directly 150 plus legal reports across 47 countries need or can be submitted electronically. Previously, we have to develop certain interfaces. I remember that when we are working in even R3 environment to a 4.7 environment to then we have ECC5 and ECC6, and the different enhancement versions. Whenever we wanted to develop these kind of interfaces, when we are working at globally, it has a lot of headache, and we will have to develop these interfaces in order to send these reports. And now we can easily send these reports with these enterprise SAP Enterprise Management. So run simple in the digital economy. New products and the next generation business suite, the digital core is delivered to transform your business for the digital economy. Financial brings instant insight through Fiori. Fiori basically is, again, I'd let you know, it's a web interface of your, previously the end user were working on the same ERP system, and now they have extended into a web-based enterprise user experience based on the state-of-the-art business intelligence, state-of-the-art dashboard reports, as well as business planning and consolidation already built in, as well as smart financials already built in these reports. That's why Fiori has been important. And on a new simplified data model is there. Financial allows for non-disruption deployment on-premise and in the cloud. So meaning to say, if the customer already working on the SAP system and they wanted to bring in whichever version they are working, if they wanted to bring on S4 HANA enterprise management platform, so without disruption, so they can bring in all the data. So we have a different three type of scenarios are there. We have a transitions. If they wanted to bring on system conversions, we can do it. If they wanted to convert transformation of their different regional landscape into one consolidated landscape, SAP can help, and they wanted to create it. If they wanted to bring a brand new greenfield implementation, we can also do all the information. And now previously it was a hack trick in order to bring all the data without the disruption, and now with this technology and with this platform, we can easily manage without the disruption of these software. So we can easily bring in the data into the system, and they can easily bring in based on whatever basically they have budget and what kind of scenarios they wanted to import. As we progress, as I will go into my classes, and then I will let you know the deployment scenarios, and based on the deployment scenario, what basically is happening, what are the different releases of S4 HANA on-premise as well as on cloud basically we have, and how basically the customer basically directly wanted to integrate and take the utilization of this state-of-the-art technology.
So are a lot of companies upgrading to this simple?
Yes, S4 HANA. Yes. Now the adoption rate is very slow.
What is the cost?
It's a millions of dollars cost. It's a very high premium.
A company has to invest more to upgrade to this level. So no, small companies will probably.
Small company, they directly go into cloud. In cloud, they didn't need to go anywhere. They directly go in the cloud. They have all the complete solution on the cloud is available.
So
as I will let you subscription base, I will move on, I will let you know. And then financial enables staying compliant in the digital world. That's basically is the need of the world right now, that how you wanted to stay compliant with the digital world. And this particular solutions which basically provide, though we have a 10 years runway period is there. So still we have a 10 years runway periods are there, and we have to complete the 10 runway period, but this is an early adoption stage, and those who wanted to get into S4 HANA skill set based on their existing core technology, that's the first thing. First you learn the existing core technology of your financial accounting, of your controlling module, of your sales and distribution, of your logistics module. Once you learn the core functionality and then you are moving into this, then basically it makes sense. But if you wanted to start right away S/4HANA, bypassing your core technology, then first of all you have to need to learn the core technology, and then you are learning that how basically if the job is there, but if you don't know your core technology, then first you have to learn the core technology, and then you are moving on into the world. That's why systematically, step by step, I'm just giving you that what basically is there, because this is my passion. Teaching is my passion and it's my hobby. So that's the reason I am in the corporate industry from over 16 plus years. And based on this particular experience, I always, I'm a corporate trainer. I'm from this institute. I'm from last almost 8+ years. I am working, teaching in this institute. So every time a different audience is there. That's the reason I just wanted to know who's my audience, and based on the audience, I will let you guys know that's how basically this thing will work. And here you can see from business perspective, business compliance in the digital world, extending the business network towards the legal authorities, how basically we have to send all the reports to the legal authorities. You can see the S4 HANA, the digital core, SAP Fiori basically will give you the user experience because it has a web interface basically is involved, and then S4 HANA application basically is there, new digital applications are there. At the bottom you can see on-premise extensions are there and cloud extensions are there. When it's say on-premise extensions are there, based on the requirement and need, you can develop your own OpenStack extension, as well as you can also develop your SAP existing applications. You can also develop based on your need and requirement. If you have a budget, and if you wanted to see your informations, the way nowadays everything is digitally connected, so you can easily see that this is a very powerful system, and HANA Cloud Platform is also very powerful. That's the way how all the information, even the big data, Internet of Things, when you are seeing different applications are there. On your smartphone, you are looking seeing for different applications. So similarly, we have to develop different applications based on your needs and development. This is an OpenStack technology, and that OpenStack technology on top of the Fiori it automatically bring in. So whatever the technology basically you are working in called Internet of Things, everything basically built on this system. At the back end, you have a SAP on-premise system is there. At the front end, you have a cloud system is there. So basically everything is interconnected, interwoven basically is there. And whatever the new technology and new applications are coming in, these can easily based on this good technology, you can easily weave in. And nowadays, if you wanted to learn, you have to develop your skill set the way its demand is there. And then you can, once your skill set is there, then the plenty of jobs are there. Those who are having a good hands-on experience, as well as those who can handle it, because right now it's in an early adoption stage. And if the people was come onto the board, you can see next 8 to 10 years of periods. Once you are already in the S4 HANA, and all the companies slowly and steadily, they will require this particular experience, and you have already hands-on of this particular thing. That will basically give you a very good solid skill set, the way the company will be expecting in the future, and you already have this kind of an experience and exposure. So here basically the new product is called own product number, whatever the number is called. Now full name is called S4 HANA Enterprise Management. Earlier we have called this one ERP, and then enhancement version 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 up till 9. So we have a different versions are there. And now, and why these versions are there? Because SAP every time releases different sports package for them. And then once it is there, then they have developed each release have a feature package stakes were available. So that's why due to this information, so you can see from SAP ERP to HANA database suite on HANA. Then we have a SAP S4 HANA Finance, Simple Finance, which was called. Then S4 HANA Logistics, which is called Simple Logistic. And then we have a simplifications items, all other simplification basically in terms of your financial strong collaborative finance integration basically is there. That basically is giving you a simplification item basically are there. And that basically is providing S4 HANA, all applications are there, and SAP named them as called S4 HANA Enterprise Management is there. And that's basically 1605 and 1610, all combination of this one is there. And whatever the future stakes, future packages, sport packages were also there, feature package, SAP feature package, SPS will also be there. And now in the future, for next 3 to 5 years, everything will be built on over here, and you will be working in next 8 to 10 years specifically on this particular platform. It's called S4 HANA applications or enterprise as for enterprise management is there. So that's basically there. And how basically you have to develop, this is not a summer or winter code, this is a pure carrier is there. And you have to think like a carrier, you have to act like a carrier, you have to dedicate your time like a carrier. But the education you are getting from TekTaurus is a dirt cheap, rather way dirt cheap, not a penny, is it, but I say dirt cheap because this is the only institute is providing the cheapest education in the world. From I know from financial perspective because I'm with them from 8+ years, and from S4 HANA financial architecture perspective, so analytics architects, what basically the core data services view is there, because there's a major shift basically is happen in the data architect point of view from financials as well as logistic perspective. SAP has eliminated all of their indexes table, all of their total tables as well as all of their aggregate tables. So instead of they have brought in is called a universal journal. In universal journal basically all the data stored at a one particular place, and now what happened of those indexes, aggregate and total table SAP has provided us is called view table, is compatibility view tables are there. That's why this core data services has provided us that compatibility view tables, and that view tables you can easily need, and you can easily recall basically if you wanted to see as a developer, and if you wanted to see some of the indexes are total tables, you can view it through select statement directly v underscore v is an as a view table, and that whatever the table basically is there you can easily retrieve the data, and that's why you can retrieve your report accordingly. And hybrid transactional as well analytical applications are there. SAP Smart business cockpits are there, and similarly analytical applications and BI content. When I say analytical application on top of the business object and top of the dashboards, you can easily, if you have a different types of a business objects, meaning smart application, just like you can see my, I wanted to see my financial statement version, financial statement where you can develop a small application, and that small application will be on top of the using the BI content, and that will basically provide you. You can use visualization perspective, you can use your another object is called SAP Lumira. You can use Lumira or you can use SAP Fiori. Basically entirely the company decision, company has to pay it, and they can see whatever the way kind of a visualization they wanted to see, they can see their visualization through SAP Lumira, as well as they can also see different types of SAP Fiori. They can also see different types of reports too. So from SAP HANA perspective, it's a very simple process. So you can say transaction and analytics are there. So in transaction analytics, previously we have a OLTP and OLAP was there. OLAP basically is a historical data, OLTP which is a transactional data. Basically now there's a combined data basically is there, and based on transaction analytics basically total and indices and everything basically is there, FI line item and CO line item. Now they are together. Once now FI and CO document is together. Previously the FI document was separate and CO document was separate, and now everything basically is together. It's called transaction analytics, and HANA CDS view basically is giving us a capability, and everything basically is going and coming into your universal journal. No reconciliation, FI and CO is called system reinforced reconciliation basically is available. Previously we have FI documents are separate and CO document was separate, and whenever you wanted to do especially the internal allocation or your assessment planning and budgeting, there basically you need a secondary cost element at that time, and now secondary cost element you can create just like your GL account in your FI system. High flexibility for analytics as well as high performance for analytics due to reduced data volume. All the information basically is available over here. And here you can see SAP S4 HANA enterprise management. Now we are only talking about financial perspective. Previously I have given you holistic picture that how basically this enterprise management is look like, and how you can connect to the any parts of the world wherever the digital and online information is there. You can hook up your SAP system and you can see it from your desktop system to laptop to tablets to your smartphone, wherever you are there you are bringing in your SAP. Earlier it wasn't possible 3 to 5 years back, and now you can see after 2015 and onwards the companies are utilizing this skill set. And what basically within SAP Finance, what's basically the things basically are going to be changed on accounting and exposure. One plan, what is the one plan? So we wanted to see business value as well as we wanted to see the complexity. From business value perspective, all sorts of reporting, what happened, query reporting, search tool, as well as from analysis perspective, why did it happen, and then why the historical OLAP mean historical transaction and visualization tool I wanted to see. From monitoring perspective, I wanted to see, okay, what's happening now? What are my dashboard reports? I wanted to slice and dice reporting based on your executive report. They say I wanted to see cost center report, I wanted to see profit center reports, I wanted to see segment report, I wanted to see, okay, P&L reports. So we have to slice and dice and provide you the reports where BI and BW basically will have us. We have to create separately and we have to provide them all the reports accordingly, and now you can see easily all the reports and monitoring basically easily available. Then prediction. So we can see if we wanted to having a soft close, let's say we know that these are the tentative hours values are coming in from our the system, and based on our suggestive system, this system predict that, okay, if you wanted to do your soft close, how your soft close look like, pretty much 99.99%, you can do your prediction, you can do your visualization, and previously it wasn't possible, and now you can do all kind of a predictive analysis, and based on this predictive analysis, even the software industry, sports industry are utilizing this predictive analysis very effectively. Either you are in cricket, you are in hockey, you are whichever industry you are, they have a historical data. Based on the historical data, they can predict how this player will play and how this bowler will bowl and how this bowler will shot. So they can analyze, and similarly in softball, NFL, they know that if he is working and he is at this stage, how basically he will dodge the player and how he will come forward to having a 6 point and having an ending line. So all sorts of, similarly, this predictive analysis basically being utilized in the financial industry very effectively and very wisely, and that's why due to this one system, one plan, you are taking all sorts of reports. And now we have a S4 HANA financial planning, how basically we do the integrated financial planning across organization. When I say across organization, you will understand that in your enterprise management, you are already working with your finance is already there, logistics is already there, human resources is already there, your manufacturing and production, everything basically is there. When you have these kind of information is there, so how basically you do your strategic planning. You will do your production planning, sales planning, price planning. If you're talking about your production planning, then investment planning, procurement planning, and then headcount planning is also there. From sales planning perspective, based on your sales operation planning, then marketing basically is also there, and everything basically will help you in order to do your cost planning. And similarly, you can also drive your profitability planning as well as revenue planning. So everything basically is strategic planning. Basically, you can easily navigate, and these report definitely you can see in your financial reports like balance sheet as well as profit and loss reporting. In order to get these sorts of reports, technically, from technical perspective, lots of consultants are working in order to produce these sorts of reporting. And now everything is because we have a universal journal. Based on the universal journal, the data footprint has been reduced. The data architect has been changed. So everything is available. In-memory computing is there, and within platform, the calculation engine is there, and that calculation engines as well as HANA database, predictive analysis, and everything basically is right away. You click it and the report basically is there. And moreover, if you have an Amazon ecosystem is there, and you're asking, hey, Amazon Eco, I wanted to see my from C4C, Cloud for Customer, my last year reports. Previously, if you are in a meeting, I'm just giving an analysis. If you are in a meeting and you ask that I wanted to see my 2016 data, can you bring 2016 data? So then somebody is working and pulling the data, and right away here at the Amazon Echo, just like a Siri, so just it's already connected, and within the system, within the meeting you are working, hey Amazon Echo, can you bring me my 2016 first and second quarter data? And you can right away see it will right away display on your system. So this way basically even the meetings are organized like this way. And how this thing basically is happened with S4 HANA. And these are the all S4 HANA enterprise management applications are there. And we are here at this institute, we are just giving you the information, and we have only started with S4 HANA Finance, and later on the S4 HANA, they will be part of logistics and other, because right now those who having a skill set, they are not available. Because I am affiliated with this institute from so many years, So I'm already working. I'm already available. That's the reason from financial perspective, I'm providing you state of the art, best of the best from SAP perspective. Otherwise, if you go to SAP and if you're having a half a day seminar, they will charge you $2,000 for half a day seminar. And here we are providing you all this information free of the cost. I say free of the cost, $2,000 or $3,000 is nothing. And how basically you are doing your SAP S4HANA financial perspective from accounting. So three major changes have now we are within the SAP finance world. S4HANA, remember, earlier I have given you the holistic picture. Now within the one set of financial applications within S4HANA, now we are deep diving into financial for S4HANA. How basically this thing is there. SAP accounting basically has been changed. Now it's powered by SAP HANA. When I say HANA, not only a database, but all the predictive analytical engines, embedded engine is there. That's why it's called SAP accounting powered by HANA. So all this basically in-memory computing and all the information basically is already available. Then we have a SAP cash management. Cash management is also powered by SAP HANA. We have a new product is there, group cash management is there, and then everything is integrated with SAP integrated business planning for finance. So if you wanted to see your cash management, a cash smart, a cash prediction, cash analysis, or whatever the basically you wanted to see your day-to-day cash position, or forecasting, planning, liquidity, everything basically is now easily available with the click of the button, and all the reports are available. Or with your FICO, you can drive your reports because SAP is providing you all the facility. Now it's up to the organization how they wanted to spend on the technology. From technology perspective, everything they have provided. What's basically will do, aligned all of your IT, whether it's in SAP or in non-SAP, single source of truth we are providing if we are bringing in all the data. Agile methodology basically we are using, runtime processes basically are there, predictive analysis are there, dynamic and predictive and planning and analysis basically everything is possible. And this is basically from adoption path. So how basically at present, what's basically adoption rate is there. When it was started in SAP ERP system on EHP 6 and 7, it was called Suite on HANA. It's called adds-on functionality. Whatever the adds-on functionality on EHP system at EHP 7 was there, they have added on the functionality on top of SAP accounting powered by HANA, then cash management powered by HANA. At that time, cash management wasn't developed. And similarly, the integration business planning for finance wasn't developed in first release. And then we have a second release. And that second release, basically, it lets you know about 1503. 1503 was second release. Then third release basically is there, EHP 7, and this is called 1605. Basically, it's called S4 HANA Finance. And this way, and now basically this release is called S4 HANA 1610. These are different releases are there. These are called SAP S4 HANA. Core basically are there. When it's a core, so all the on-premise edition, logistics is there, finance is there, human resources are there, all the information basically are available. And that's why this adoption path is there. Right now in the industry is less than 2 to 5% adoption rate is there. Still 90%, 95% has to go. Either they will be on-premise or they will be on the cloud based on their availability, because it's providing you the best of the best. From technology perspective, from financial perspective, from reporting perspective, from legal reporting perspective, from corporate governance perspective, you name it, and SAP basically is there. So that's the reason is SAP HANA is state-of-the-art technology is there. This is the SAP landscape. The landscape hasn't been changed because we have a development server is there, we have a quality server are there, and SAP server look like the same, except Fiori. If you wanted to see, oh, this is S4 HANA, it looks like the same. From on-premise, it looks like the same, but the interface of Fiori basically has been changed tremendously, because whenever what kind of a reports you wanted to see, that reports basically you can see in your SAP Fiori in the form of a dashboard, in the form of a smart application, in the form of a whatever data you have, and SAP will provide you accordingly. These are just previously whatever the previous combination we have SAP landscape, development system, quality system, production system, some key users are there, some consultants are there. This is basically working as it is. And you can also see from SAP on-premise edition, I'm not talking about the NetWeaver, I'm not talking about your on-premise, the Fiori. So how basically SAP system, still SAP system looks like the same. The way you are looking over here, SAP ZXS menu is same, SAP IMG is same, everything is same, but it's on different technology and platform basically is there. And that's the reason initially you have to learn the core technology first, and then we will move into S4HANA. Because if I combine these two courses, it will be a very lengthy course. Because first of all, you have to learn all the FI general ledger module, how basically general ledger module normally work, and I have to let you know the business requirement, that you first of all understood the business requirement, then the system functionality of your general ledgers, and then your accounts payable, accounts receivable, bank accounting. Similarly, we have a different, similarly cost center, profit center, profitability analysis, product costing, cash and liquidity management. All this information first you have to learn their requirement, their functionality, and then we are moving into S4HANA. So that's why S4HANA is a specific tools where basically we wanted to give you what's basically additional adds on, or what are the additional functionality, how basically you wanted to do. That's the reason initially I asked you what's basically your roles, are you working in the SAP environment or not. So here everything was there from 2011. You can see from last 6 years, SAP started in memory computing. Only it's a 5 to 6 year old, but having a history of 45 years plus. Now SAP is 45 years old. From 1972, from R1 environment, here you can see, from our 1972 from R1 environment to right now, and now we are 1610 S4 HANA applications are there, and it will stay the same. Enterprise management stay the same, because right now it's in an early adoption stage. So this way the companies are moving in as per their budget, because it's a very premier and expensive software. Similarly, the consultants are also very premier or very expensive. You only need to learn this technology, and this technology is available. It's basically up to you how basically you wanted to utilize this particular technology. As for HANA, the next generation business suite, again SAP S4 HANA, SAP Fiori at the top of that, then S4 HANA application and extension, as I have explained to you earlier. S4 HANA platform is there, on-premise is available, cloud information, cloud edition basically is available. This is called native integration for hybrid scenario. Let's say companies already working on on-premise, and instead of they don't want, they are already working on ERP system. If they wanted to going into hybrid, so native integration, so yes, we can see, okay, if you want to connect to Ariba is available for all of your procurement. This is also a SAP company. If you wanted to work for travel and expense, yes, travel and expense for Concur perspective, these are available. In order to manage your human resources, if you wanted to hire your human resources, field glass basically is available. You can directly integrate with field glass. If you have an e-commerce, hybris marketing, as well as if you wanted to hybris billing, now we have hybris billing and hybris marketing is available. SuccessFactors, in order to manage within your organization when employees are there, in order to give your employees incentive, bonuses, and how basically you rate your employees. So then you use your SuccessFactors, report, and all the information basically is available. That is called native integration for hybrid scenario. But if you are already working on on-premise edition, let's say you are already working, and still if you wanted to connect to the native integrations for hybrid scenario, so for native integration for hybrid scenario, you can also still be available. And once you are in S4 HANA platform and S4 HANA enterprise system, all sorts of social networks is available. Any types of big data, structured and unstructured data, everything is available. Devices, whatever the devices you want to choose, your social network is available. Your business networks are available. Within a business networks, we have a business networks out there. Let's say your organization is having 180,000 employees, and you wanted to develop a business network to them. So SAP provided us a business network. You can also scale out your Office 365, whatever the way you want. You can easily connect, and SAP provide you the reports as per your needs and requirements. Previously it wasn't possible. Now you dream it. If somebody is thinking that I wanted this type of application, and so SAP is providing you state-of-the-art and technology, not only in one country but across the globe. Now it's a real, it's called the villages, the village concept basically you can see. And internet, what is Internet of Things? You can see every now and then. So everybody is creating a smart applications. Oh, download this smart application from Apple tunes and Androids and blah blah and so and so. So if you have developed a, because it's OpenStack technology, if you already had developed a certain smart application and you wanted to integrate with your SAP, you can easily do it. Previously, 10 years past, 7-8 years back, if you wanted to see this kind of an application on iPhone is only 10 years old. And the way technology is improving and going, if you are already in the industry from last 10 years, 10 to onwards, so you can precedented rate. This technology has been growing and evolving, and that's why this was the need of the era, and based on this was the need of the era, that's why SAP has already developed this particular platform. All other companies are still in the phase of, let's say you name it, the other ERP system, they don't have a, first of all, budgets, and first of all they don't have a strong integrations, they don't have a strong search, they are way behind. They are working bits and pieces. Let's say CRM working, Salesforce working in the Salesforce area, and they wanted to buy this company, and they have a lots of integration issues. They have a lots of other issues are involved. And Oracle, similarly, Oracle wanted to, they do not wanted to collaborate, they do not wanted to, they have a lot of issue, and here seamless integration basically is there. That's the reason SAP is getting popular, that's the reason SAP has brand, that's why SAP has price tag is on it. That's the reason SAP, even the consultant and even those who having a good resources, they also have a tag on it. If you having, this is called explicit skillful resources are there. That's why, and these resources are not available. So functional scope of today, you can see SAP S/4HANA on-premise edition, full ERP scope is available. Whatever you have earlier seen, full ERP scope, now full ERP scope, basically enterprise resource planning. The name is changed, called enterprise management is there, because we have a native integrations for hybrid scenarios are there in the form of a Concur, in the form of a Ariba, in the form of a field class, in the form of a SuccessFactor. So all the information basically is available. Full SAP Simple Finance, integrate SuccessFactor, Employee Central, Field Glass, Hybrids for Marketing, Concur, Reba Network, Industry Map, CRM, SRM, SEM, everything basically is code applied. If you want code apply, or if you wanted to enterprise management, it's basically choice is yours. You wanted to come into the industry right now, or you wanted to come into the industry after 10 years. Choice is yours, how you wanted to jump into the industry. You have to choose it and you have to decide it. Then Cloud Edition is also giving you embedded ERP scenarios. So scenarios are already embedded, guided configurations basically is available, and you are utilizing the Activate methodology, and that Activate methodology is giving you the best SAP practices as well as the best guided configuration is available, as well as other sources are available where basically you are managing your project. And then integrate, you if you wanted to integrate the SuccessFactor, Employee Central, Field Glass, Hybrids for marketing. Why I'm just giving you this kind of a passion, because I work most of the thing. I work in Concur, I work in Ariba, I work in SuccessFactor, I work in SAP, I work in CRM sector. Pretty much from 16 plus year, I worked in all areas, public sector, commercial sector. That's why with passion I'm letting you know this is this. Your mind will be boggled if you know all these things. And then these other extensions are there. SAP HANA Cloud Platform is there. Customer extensions are there. Customer extension, if they have a specific customer extension, if you want to bring in the data, if you want to bring in the interface, you can easily map it. Why? Because it's an open stack technology. When I say open stack technology, any IT developer who are good in, let's say, who are good in any type of a skill set, let's say C++, C is there, Java is there. Through Java connector, they can, and most of the developers, they are working through Java. You can develop your Java connector through your XML file, and you can load it and you can connect it the way you want it. Especially is your choice and the company's call. Then we have a deployment, choice of deployment. So we have a new customers. If they wanted a brand new customer, if they wanted a greenfield implementation, we say, hey, if you wanted a brand new greenfield implementation, on-premise deployment is there. If you wanted to do hybrid scenario, you can also take your cloud because SAP already providing a cloud, because they have a big cloud foundry is available. Second is basically on-premise, any database is basis there, and similarly based on your needs, the requirement. Sorry. Thank you. And innovations at the bottom, innovation without disruption. That's a big word. When you are in IT industry and if you wanted to move your data, this earlier it was a big challenges and lot of implementation was happened 1 year plus, 1.5 year implementation, 4 years implementation. If you are working in a global scenario, now if you wanted to, you plan it 3 to 6 months releases and you are there. If you're already on the SAP, if you're not on the SAP, then again the system is very explicit, very fast. If you have a good resources are there, then who knows the system, they can easily develop a lot of SAP projects because companies are moving on it, and lots of good consulting company, big four consulting company, they really wanted to hire those individuals who having a good skill set and who can manage their team and who can develop with themselves, as well as the company is also earning, and you name it, and the resources are there. And that's why it's a very good chance for you guys who wanted to learn, first of all learn the core technology, then go into the SAP S/4HANA. And if this class is there, I will then mix and match everything based on your core technology as well as your, because if some new blood will be in, then I will go according to the class audience. Then what basically in innovation technology is there, we have a simplified data model is there. What's a simplified data model? Because data architect has been changed. That's why simplified data model is there. New user experience. When you know everything, then you speak from your gut. To be honest, I'm letting you know. If you are at my place, then you are knowing everything, and you know that this is the result, you also speak like the way. Then guided configuration is always happen when you're working on-prem, especially in the cloud. They are providing you guided configuration. You follow it and you have to develop your, but still the company wanted from GRC perspective or Sarbanes-Oxley rules. If you have configured it, you cannot basically have authorization, have a business transaction. Still you need a personnel, even it's in on cloud, still you need the consultants are required from due to the audit requirements. Today we have a functional based applications are there, and this is our called target based, role based application. Again, I'm diving into the SAP finance. Previously I have given you holistic picture, and now we are diving into within finance, that how basically within finance changes happen. And this everything is basically is happen in your Fiori. Again, remember, this everything is in Fiori. This was the old ERP system. So from multiple entry points for the user and inconsistent user experience. So here one entry point for the user and user experience following common design functions, template, layout, business intelligence report, dashboard reports, smart farm reports, predictive reports, all sorts of reports are available. So that's basically is the beauty today, and target how basically you wanted to do. Then if you are working on let's say desktop, to your laptop, to your smartphone, all sorts of applications basically are available. You name it on-premise edition, or you can call it cloud edition, everything basically is available. So SAP has a roadmap to leverage Fiori from other important processes in SAP S/4HANA. It's not dream that we are talking, hey, we are learning in the university, but this is not applicable. Either this is in the past or in the future. This thing is happening right now. This is right now is happening in the market and in the industry. So how data footprint has been reduced? Compression. This HANA will give you the compression of data. It provides you column storage. Previously we have a horizontal, the row storage, and now it's providing us a column storage. Previously we have a traditional database having a 593 GB is there. Any attribute as an any index on HANA, now you can drastically reduce into 218 0.6 GB, and you can see 8 to 10 CPU in a one blade, and multiple blades basically are there depending upon the size of your organization. Sizing basically is also there based on your size of the organization. Then SAP provides us t-shirt sizes, and then you have to develop your hardware software, collaboration of hardware and software, joint collaboration, and you are developing your server accordingly. And then SAP has server companies are there basically. They have 5 to 6 companies jointly collaborated. Whenever there's a new implementation are there, whosoever required HANA database servers are there, the server has been provided. So everything is basically is easily available. And OLAP and OLTP, historical and current data, is basically together, and that's also basically drastically reduce the size. And now what's basically the big change basically is happen here. You can see the following releases. When I say release, adds on functionality of S/4HANA. It's called Simple Finance. Then we have a 1503, then we have 1511, then we have a 1605. All releases are there. Here you can see different releases are there. So S/4HANA Finance, that's I am talking about currently, is called 1605. Correspondence to release 3.0. SAP S/4HANA Finance On-Premise Edition 1503 correspond to release 2.0. And then Simple Finance add-on for business suite provided by SAP HANA corresponding to release 1.0. And here basically are the changes. You can see general ledger, here basically controlling COPA, here you can see controlling asset accounting, material ledger, all these are different tables, and all the tables are going into one universal journal. That table name is called ACTOCA. And here, what are the indexes and other tables, how basically these are gone, and how basically this thing is, indexes are gone, uh, total tables are gone, as well as aggregates tables are gone, and now you can read these table via view statement. V underscore, if the developers, if you have already having a customized code changes are there, you can also bring in those customized changes, but still you can read those customized changes through V underscore view table. So that's the biggest change basically has happened from data architectural perspective. We go in detail once we will be in the subject. So here from S4 HANA Finance, options from R3 to S4, you can easily, because we have already moved from real-time 3-tier structure to suite S4 HANA, which is basically state of the art is there, as well as digital core technology is providing us reason and exceptions. Re-implementation on S4 HANA platform, greenfield approach, back to SAP standard, new business processes, technical migration, less effort, less project duration, business process before S4 HANA, custom code, obsolete transaction, and as you can see business process with S4 HANA. SAP standard customization has been drastically reduced. And now what happened with the developers? Now developers are coming into, is called BW, S4 developer, BW on 4, BW slash by 4, S4 HANA developers. So their naming schema were different, but all those developers are going over there. That's why they are learning. Whenever their technical is there, they always learn, because still lots of S4 HANA developers are, BW developers are required. HANA developers are required. HANA administrators are required, because administrators are required. And similarly, S4 HANA functional consultants are required. Let's say she having a experience in the past, having a MM, and if she wanted to learn the logistic module functionality, her functionality, core functionality remain the same, but she needed to add on this functionality. Then she will become a S4 HANA financial consultant, S4 HANA management consultant, material management consultant, is similarly logistics consultant. All consultants are available in the same fashion, but they have to learn this technology. Now everybody pretty much, whatever the information I wanted to give you today from orientation perspective, everybody very clear cut and straightforward idea. And from S4 HANA Finance, you can see greenfield versus migration. What are the important steps? So archiving and data aging. So identification of not use custom program, and then identification of incomplete custom program, then identification of use obsolete transaction. So we have to first of all identify. As soon as you're identifying, then SAP having a program, and that program basically checks all of your code before we are entering into the system. So we have a process, we have a standard structure processes there. So we have to check our configuration, we have to check our all codes, everything we are bringing in, pre-checks are available. Once pre-checks is there, then with the same data, we are uploading the data, and then we can see that all the codes, tables, everything has been migrated, and the tables which are already has been obsolete, meaning needs to be obsolete, indexes table, aggregates table, as well all of the table has been gone. How basically we can retrieve, if we wanted to retrieve the data, we can see through v select statement, then v underscore, we can see through view the same tables. So it means nothing is gone, everything is there, but only some of the process has been changed, because we don't require some obsolete tables are there. That's why new information is there. Assignment of customer transactions to scenario and Fiori apps are there, as well as evaluation of best practices are there, identification of relevant Fiori apps are there, identification of relevant HANA live views are there, and the same information basically here you can see. From single source of truth, here you can see earlier everything from material ledger perspective, from asset accounting perspective, from GL perspective, CO perspective, everything coming into GL. This was an old. And now in your new technology, everything coming into your universal journal. That's our biggest change. And this is called header. BKPF header table. That's header table is also available. AC Doka is a universal journal table name. That table normally consists of line item details. but it has some of the BKPF table is also there, and BKPF also separately will also be available. The new journal entry consists of a header table, BKPF, and the respective table, which is basically line item tables are there. And table AC doca contains all fields needed for GL, CO, asset accounting, material ledger, profitability analysis, and all the 6-digit field for line item numbering and 23 digit for currency numbering. Everything basically from technical perspective is available. But from your configuration perspective, your 90% configuration stay the same. Everybody with me? Whatever your configuration is there, pretty much your 90% configuration, you are performing in the same fashion, the same old fashion. That's why you need to learn the core functionality. Your core functionality doesn't mean that you are working on S4 HANA, so you will switch it and it will flush automatically within one switch off. You need to learn the core functionality. That's why you guys are called functional consultant. And in this specific course, we are talking about S4 HANA functionality. That's the reason I was asking. You're working already in the SAP, but most of you are not working in the SAP. Then I will develop a mixed brand of this course. So you are covering your core functionality as well as your S4 HANA functionality. That's why I just, if you are already there, then you didn't need to go through the core functionality because you already know how GL structure basically is work, what are the GL functionalities there, and all this information is there. Before, what basically has happened before? Simpler IT. So interfaces were there. So here aggregates, indices. So overhead management is there, profitability analysis is there, general ledger is there, consolidation is there, special ledger is there. Then we have our accounts payable, accounts receivable. These are the indices based which is retrieved from this one, general ledger, AP, AR, and these are the financial documents are there, FI and CO financial document is there. So now before and after interface is there. Now you can see everything HANA views on the fly. So we didn't require these tables. So everything views, HANA views are available, is on the fly. If you wanted to right away see, you can right away retrieve and see the data. Combined FICO document basically is there. So that's why this information basically is there. So consolidated financial statement with no pre-aggregated table or ATL application is required. System is automatically doing all the extraction, transformation, and load. You didn't need to require application in terms of your business intelligence tool, projects, all the things. HANA basically, HANA analytical platform is doing everything.
So the functional consultant write queries for that, SAP queries to get all these reports, or?
If you are, yes, if you wanted to, otherwise straight reports are there. If you wanted, if you interested in queries, yes, you can also write and get query. BI content has been given if you wanted to learn these things.
Okay.
From a BAP perspective, same text statement is there. Let's say data dictionary information center, DDCIC mean is called data dictionary information center is there. Table is there, COEP basically is a CO line item is there. If you wanted to see, you can directly see this V underscore COEP is there. Previous it was through a BAP is there, and now HANA database is there, and now you are working universal general ledger. So these entry basically are available. Again, it's a very high-end explicit knowledge. It can be developed right now. If you are thinking that, oh, this is very hi-fi, slowly and steadily step in. It's you have at this point of time you have no idea which premium brand you are looking for and which premium brand you are going for it for your future perspective. This is the highest. I'm just giving example of 2000, early 2000 and late 90s. Oracle applications and SAP came at the same time. The people who are smart at this end, they opted for SAP. And those who is easy to learn Oracle. Right now, again, it's a time. History is again repeating. It's a time to learn as for HANA. Again, learn it after 5-10 years. You will, if you are not, we will not jump into the HANA. You will regret my word. And this is again a historical session. I'm just giving you the latest technology. This is the latest 1610 is the latest edition. It came out 3-4 months back. It's not. I'm giving you a latest presentation. You're not going into SAP seminars. You are here in my class. I'm just giving you. Otherwise, you are spending for one seminar one day close to $2,000 for only for one day. Forget about all the other education. If you are just meeting with the SAP consultant, and first of all, they will not available. But if you, the people said, if you are just shaking hand with SAP consultant who know this technology, it's a blessing for you, because he or she will transfer some of the germs into you. So you will learn these kind of a technology more and more.
So depending upon how many people you have, like most of the people online probably don't have
I will give you,
background.
I will give you the
Yeah.
answer. It's almost, my orientation is almost at the end. So unified master data maintenance for GL account and cost elements, they are together right now. Previously they are separately. Now we can easily manage under a GL, under general ledger accounts. The chart of accounts cover balance sheet and all P&L accounts. Cost element moves into GL account logic. Previous it was separately available. What is the G? What are the, basically I'm just letting you know the cost element in management accounting. In order to manage your profit and loss or expense and revenue, you need it just like a GL account. You need a GL account. So these are called in controlling environment cost elements. So these are together in moves into GL account logic. That means no time dependency for cost elements any longer, no default account assignment in cost center. P&L accounts can be classified as cost element, as you can see in the others. So all this information basically is available. P&L versions have to be updated accordingly. Real time integration mapped secondary to primary. Previous it was available secondary to primary. Whenever we wanted to having a mapping of secondary, first of all secondary account which is used in controlling environment for allocation, for internal allocation, for manufacturing, as well as at a cumulative level into different departments, as well as in assessment. If we wanted to map it, so we have to map it earlier in the primary account, then we have to create a GL account. No, if this kind of a situation, you can right away create your secondary cost element in the system right away. So here from technical changes from S4 HANA Finance, so FagliFlex A, FagliFlex T, then if it's a custom defined codes is there based on the industry or based on the industry, you can easily move into the universal journal tables, and you have to name it, and all the things basically will directly flow into your new table, which is basically universal journal without the disruption of your system. So here from BSAC table, now we are actually in the finance, inside the finance, we are dissecting what are the changes basically is happening. Earlier from BSAC, basically FI document, and now BSAC is a table which store all the line item, and all the line item needs to be posted to your new general table, to your profit center accounting, to your special ledger, to your consolidation system, as well as your profitability analysis system. It will stay the same as it is. These are the changes basically is happening in your asset accounting perspective. So ANEK, ANEP, ANA, ANLP, ANLC, these are basically everything is going into your AC Docker table. This is a BKPF table. These are called the actual line item. If you wanted to see non-actual line item, then we have to go through these tables, and then you can bring in all the data, statistical and other information will go accordingly. And this is from S4 HANA, from CO line item perspective. CO BK basically is a header line item. Basically, this is basically going into BKPF, and all other tables basically are going into AC Docker Universal Journal. Basically, are there your actual line item and non-actual line item, CO EP and COSP underscore back, and all these are still stored in the other tables. So if you wanted to see from a financial perspective, the developers can easily insert. If customers mean any company XYZ have written program manipulated data in COAP. COAP is called management line item table. Directly via inserts statement, the corresponding statement must be replaced. This is the condition. If this is the condition, when the COAP line item has been already written and statement, that must be replaced. SAP provides the class, this is the class within the method insert, update, modify and delete this response. On the left you can see find a coding example. So this coding example from developer perspective, and from developer perspective they can also, I talked to developers and they said that it's way easier working in the new system as compared to the old system, because lots of redundancy, lots of aggregate, lots of indices has already been eliminated, and their jobs also become easy. Then from material ledger perspective, these are some of the tables basically which is going into BKPF is called header item, as well as line item details are going over there. So and usage of material ledger for parallel currencies and parallel valuation purposes, all this information are coming in I thought that I will let you know what are the changes basically is happening in your general ledger area, in your fixed asset area, in your material ledger area, as well as in your bank account, and rest of the technology stay the same. And these are the result. Right now is you can see it blurry over here, but if you are online and if you take the recording, you can see all the details, all the information has been given over here based on whichever dimension analysis you wanted to see the reports. You can see the report based on your cost center, based on your account type, based on your products, based on your orders, production order, whatever the orders you have, maintenance order, everything basically is clearly seen over here. You can, previously it wasn't possible. We have to create separate report through BI, BW, and then those reports you can also see in the form of a dashboard reports are also available. So P&L statement by account structure, by financial statement version, as well as drill down options provided by SAP Finance. So everything basically is available in this S4 HANA. Here from accounting perspective, now FI and CO are together. Previously both are separate, and now as SAP FI and CO are together, and you can see one accounting document at the same time. And whenever you wanted to create a GL account, you can say, okay, this is my GL account balance sheet. This is balance sheet is a, and this is my non-operating expense and the revenue account, and this is my primary cost element P, and this is my secondary cost element P. As previously it wasn't possible, and now you can see in S4 HANA enterprise management platform, you can easily manage here this information. Previously it wasn't there, and now you can manage your master data at this point of time. Asset accounting, though I have already given you this information from S4 HANA perspective, these are the major changes basically is happening, and these are the changes: optional entry, document post to technical clearing account. Previously, in order to give your local requirement, local gap, whichever country you are in, then we have a IFRS ledger requirements, and your IFRS ledger say, okay, I wanted to separate out your capitalized, non-capitalized cost. So at one entry, the system is creating all the entry at the same time. First, your normal AP document has been posted, so you can see your AP domestic is basically is credited and debited technical clearing account. Then based on IFRS ledger, you are basically debiting your asset, which is machine, and you're crediting your technical clearing account. This way, directly posting is happening in your international financial reporting standard ledgers. Then we have a local gap. Local gap said that, okay, the same entry I wanted to show into my local gap. Local gap, we are also bringing in the same asset class machine, debiting and crediting technical clearing account. Basically is a new thing in SAP. Previously it wasn't there, but this is called new asset accounting. Now because rules are set, IFRS said I want to separate it non-capitalized cost. So non-capitalized cost in 10,200 dollar was 200 was non-capitalized cost in this scenario. So the system is automatically posting and crediting your machines 200 units and debiting your freight expenses. Let's say any kind of expenses they are debiting. This way, one entry they are giving the local gap requirement, IFRS requirement, as well as your vendor entry created at the same time. And this is also beauty of this particular. Previously we have to create separately and go through and manage and doing lots of things, and now with this help we are doing a technical clearing account. Earlier in 2000, when there was a classical ledger to new general ledger, at that time we have a document splitting with the same concept. We have to enter with the document splitting based on segment A, segment B, segment C. Same way, additional clearing line item has been required, just like the technical clearing account has been required over here. The same analogy, they have developed this the same analogy, and they have provided this information over here. And this is a very big change. And this is just an explanation of when you're working for the AP reconciliation, technical clearing account, asset reconciliation, freight expenses from IFRS perspective, as well as your local gap perspective, how these entry basically been entered into the system automatically. Then from document entry perspective, document display perspective, asset explorer, depreciation, they are simplified, and reporting capabilities easily available. Document display was easily available. These are the extra perks basically will happen. And now going into our last portions, that what are the deployment scenario and deployment options we have. Right now, based on this orientation, now you have understood that as for HANA, basically enterprise management is a very powerful tool, very powerful tool, because not only contains all the financial application, it contains all the logistics applications, it contains all the human resource application, it having a native integrations with your travel and expense, it have native integrations with your supplier, all the supplier vendors in the form of online supplier vendor in the form of Ariba, it has a native integration with your human resources. If you wanted to manage, is called Fieldglass. That's also SAP company. If you wanted to having strong integrations with the SAP SuccessFactor, when you wanted to those employees who are already there in order to manage your employees and give them a appraisals, based on the appraisals you have all the report system and everything is already SuccessFactor is there. So within a one thing, within a one box, we are providing all the details. Plus, you are talk about your social networks are there. You are talk about your smart application integration is there. You talk about your Facebook is there in the term of a big data and structure and structured data. You talk about any type of a non-SAP system and wanted having integration with SAP system basically is there. So based on these prevailing conditions, how we move into SAP S/4HANA? The question how we move. We have a transition scenarios there, system conversions, we have a landscape transformation is there, we have a new implementation is there. And if we wanted to do your system conversions, so ERP system on-premise is there, we have a cloud edition is also there. So complete conversion of existing SAP Business Suite system to SAP S/4HANA. Then we have a second landscape transformation. Let's say a company is already working in EMEA regions, American region, North America, South America, as well as Asia Pacific regions. The company is already working and they have a different ERP region-wise, they have a different ERP system and they wanted to consolidate their ERP system into a one system. It's called landscape transformation. If they wanted to landscape transformation, the consolidation of current regional SAP Business Suite landscape into a one SAP system, they can easily do it. And if the customer wanted to do new implementations, they can do your new ERP system, ERP system and non-ERP SAP system and non-SAP system, and they wanted to do into SAP system, new existing SAP customer implementation. Then you have to first learn the core functionality of your respective module. What is my general ledger? What are my business requirement of general ledger? How a general ledger business requirement has been documented. First, the project has been prepared, then business blueprint has been documented, then realization phase. In realization phase, we have to transform all the business requirement into configuration. Then configuration has to be tested, and then configuration has been tested. Then we handed over this. I'm talking about one general ledger module. Then handed over the system to the business stakeholder. Similarly, we have to learn all the general ledger functionality, accounts payable functionality, banking functionality, fixed asset functionality, new function, everything basically is there. So we have to learn, and then once we learn in this course, you are learning S/4HANA additional functionality. Plus, I will also, because you guys do not have any SAP background previously, so I will also involve and also give you some of the that how basically general ledger basically is working, and what are the functionality of general ledger, how accounts payable receivables is work, and how basically other. But our major focus of attention will be on your S/4HANA. So this way, basically, all these are the deployment scenario basically are there, and that's I just wanted to let you know these deployment scenario. And what is the implementation map? The implementation map will be prepared. So all implementation scenarios when we are on the real projects. So we will see, okay, how basically your implementation scenario, and what is basically, we first of all we provide them some of the discovery workshop. In discovery workshop, we wanted to know what are basically data volume is there, how their customization are there, how their old program custom code programs are there. Then we explore, after giving this information, strategy and roadmap. Then we develop strategy and roadmap. Development on implementation scenarios, we strategy and roadmap has been developed. Technical architecture and migration planning has been discussed. That how we basically are moving the technical architecture and migration planning and all this information basically realize. Then we realize and deploy. Okay, this is my system conversion or my landscape conversion based on whatever the scenario basically we are moving and bringing into SAP system. Then based on this information, then we implement new innovations. Okay, this is my new implementation, this is my system conversion, and then based on the installation which SAP has provided, which we will discuss in our course in S4 HANA, the transition for S4 HANA basically we discuss, and then implement additional industry line of businesses and packages based on specific industry if they wanted to go into and they wanted to take in, so we will bring in it accordingly. And this is called SAP Sport and Premium Engagement Optional. Then we will also utilize their other sport packages as well as new feature packages. This is all basically implementation roadmap, how basically, because I have done it a lot of on S4 HANA I have done it earlier implementations. So that's everything in my mind, and that's why I'm just letting you know all in details. And that kind of a skill set and expertise, when you are learning it from the industry experts, you learn a lot. And how basically if you are doing your SAP, your cloud, on cloud, if you are doing the implementation, you learn your implementation through SAP Activate methodology. So basically Agile methodology. In Agile methodology, basically you discover, optimize your S4 HANA, and you are doing your SAP best practices as well as your initial implementation are designed on the innovations. All these basically are practices that you're utilizing your S4 HANA on-premise edition, cloud edition, as well as your new implementations, system conversion, as well as landscape implementation utilizing these skill set. So these are methodology has been given. So what are these three within three icon? So SAP best practices are there, guided configurations are there, and adoption of SAP. So these three things basically are given over here. Then from your course perspective, S4 HANA Enterprise Management, S4 HANA, SAP S4 Finance. So within S4 HANA application, so now we are specifically talking about your S4 HANA course. What basic S4 HANA Finance course is all about, how to do your migration to S4 HANA Finance. Then migration from classical general ledgers to SAP accounting, then steps from installing SAP S4 Finance, then preparation for migration. Each and every is a large involvement. These are the major steps I'm just giving. Preparation for migration, data migration, activities to be executed after the migration, and migrations to new asset accounting, and then SAP business planning and consolidation for S4 HANA, central finance. And I will also give you what is basically general ledger, what's basically asset accounting is all about, and what basically accounts payable and receivables are about. And then later on I will also give you information of profitability analysis. So this way you have a almost mixture of two courses. So this way you will learn that how basically this thing is there. And these are the recap. Course material will be provided in the form of a PowerPoint presentation, PDF, Word document, simulation files, interview questions, mock interview preparation with IT recruiters and SAP certified consultant based on the real-time scenario on business blueprint, ASAP methodology, resume and interview workshops will also part of this course. And then live server access, SAP experience trainer with having corporate training experience. And you, by this time you already know that what kind of instructor I have already given you information. SAP study material, training with live example, training material, sport, PPT, PDF documents, SAP practical after every major topic, SAP test and SAP frequently asked question from interview point of view with project work, feedback from SAP training coordinator throughout the course, on the job support if you are part of the TekTaurus SAP practice, then SAP trainer through email, resume preparation, mock interview with TekTaurus consultant, as well as sometime mock interview always happen with me till now. This SAP certification help on Java system if you are part of TekTaurus SAP practice, help via emails, cell, online, remote support, etc. And now you have a question and answer session.
We'll still try to absorb everything. Frankly speaking, since I don't have any background in SAP, it looks a little overwhelming. But as you said, I was thinking that without doing the SAP FICO core course, is it advisable to get into this where you mix a little bit of that FICO so that because obviously a lot of companies will be moving from the FICO to HANA, and when they do that, you will have to have the knowledge of the actual code.
Yes.
It's not like you learn how to drive in a stick shift, but nowadays my daughters, they do not. They just went straight to automatic transfer.
What will happen? It's a very good question. After 5 years, 3 years, 5 years, greenfield implementation of S4 HANA enterprise management will be started. Then we are not giving you this teaching. Then we are giving you the core course of S4 HANA. Because right now majority of the projects are on and how you do it. Yeah, based on 3 transition scenarios we have 3 transition scenarios if you say, let's say after this course, if you are taking this course S4 HANA and you said I know S4 HANA finance, because right now next 3 years I can anticipate next 3 years at least. So they are expecting you have this technology.
Right.
You have your scenarios are there when you are moving your system conversion. Because if you don't know this system conversion, you cannot do system conversion. Second scenario is transformation. They wanted to consolidate. Third is basically new implementation is there. So at this point of a new implementation is only 20%. Majority of the
probably
projects.
There you can still,
where you can apply your core and all the knowledge out there. So where basically your daughter's example will fit.
Sounds good. So how much in your total course which you will plan is the FICO code will be like?
FICO core is all the time involved. From you can say day one.
Okay.
FICO course is involved.
So after this finishes off, say after I finish your course,
you have to extra work out on your core.
Right.
Because I will provide you the material.
Practice.
I will provide you the material. I will ask you to provide you guys 2 servers. One server on S4 HANA. The second server I will request them to provide them EHP server. So where you guys practice right away on the core server. So once you are already practicing on core server as well as you are going on S4 HANA, this way it makes a match. You have to work extra.
And courses are on Saturday and Sunday.
Saturday and Sunday.
Morning.
9:30 to 5. 4:30 actual time, but my course is always go on because I have to mix 2 courses. It's always go on.
And goes on for around 4 or 5 weeks.
4 weekends, 8 classes.
8 classes. Okay. And after that, suppose I want to brush up on anything or missed a class, so I can always go online and see that.
You have a recording.
When you start your next course, I can just.
Yes. You can talk to the resource coordinator. You can do. Plus, you have a recording of the sessions.
Okay. And about the costs and everything, should I talk to them?
All the logistics you have to talk to them.
Okay.
All the material, all the you can say expertise.
Now the important thing, since I've been already working in obviously a different field, that's not paid like what SAP does. So that's the reason. My main concern is getting some knowledge, getting a job.
Not getting knowledge, hands-on.
Hands-on.
On both servers.
I mean, once you start practicing, doing a theoretical sort of a thing, I've always been a hands-on guy everywhere. Yes. Whatever I've done. So doing this course will only give me a little bit practical, but mostly on theoretical side. Now, with that, with whatever resume I make and things like that, since I come from a different industry altogether, do you think I could get a job? Because most of them ask for like 3 life cycle, 5 life cycle.
They basically, when you are working and when you are working with me on each and every module and you have to configure your in the system, in the let's say old system as well as you practice with me in the new system, all the migration step, whatever the steps we will discuss, because a complete course. So how you do your system conversion, all the system conversion steps basically has been there. So when you are following it, it means, and on the old system you are configuring your general ledger, it's your one life cycle. If you are configuring your end-to-end asset accounting or accounts payable receivable, it will be a life cycle. In life cycle, apart from realization, I also let you know what is the business requirement. You understand the business requirement. Once you understood the business requirement, based on the business requirement, then you have to configure in the system. And then I will also provide you transaction code where basically you have to test whatever you have day-to-day transaction. So this will become your full life cycle. So if you can say, yes, I have done my projects, instead of saying XYZ actual
Right.
company, you can say, yes, I have done my projects at TekTaurus. This is my first life cycle, this is my second life cycle, this is my third life cycle.
Okay, gotcha.
Now it makes sense?
Yeah.
The same kind of a server, because server is IDES, is education learning system, is available. IDES is there. So it's demonstration system. It's built for educational purposes and evaluation purposes. And then once your hands-on are there, and you know the processes and steps you are working from migration perspective, plus I'm providing all the details because I have to because this is a new release, I have to update all of my previous course material. I have to do a lot of work, and every time I am writing and delivering something, because it will stay the same. Enterprise management, S4 HANA enterprise management stay the same for next 10 years. So either I have to update right now or slowly and steadily, whenever I am getting a time, I'm updating it. Because teaching is not my profession. This is not my profession, but this is my hobby. So I wanted to give, plus I'm working.
So basically you're working 5 days in New York City and 2 days here.
Not here. Class is not happening.
Oh, I mean.
After 3 months, one class is there.
Oh.
So this way basically I normally manage.
Good. Yeah. Do you have any questions?
Those who are online, those people have any question, you can ask. If you do not have any questions, the forum is yours.
Very interesting. SAP HANA.
SAP itself is very interesting, and it's enormous. Every
A lot
day
of
you
people
learn
will
something.
lose jobs also. I'm seeing the traditional point of view of accounting, like in our system where I work, they have QuickBooks. They have another software which they have their payroll system separate. Then they have ADP, which is our external payroll.
That's
So
why it was an enterprise resource planning.
there is no link in one, no
That's what I was
integration.
telling you, know, that the whole thing
And that is the reason
designed
why
in
they have
such
to
a
have
way.
4 people working.
Yeah.
And once you have that SAP, there will be one guy sitting and all the 3 will lose their jobs. So,
No, the individual personnel are required.
yeah, that way I mean.
The reason is because I was also heavily involved in audit and compliance.
Okay.
So based on this Sarbanes-Oxley and based on the audit and compliance, a payroll guy should be a separate. Those who are maintaining the server, those are separate.
Yeah.
Those are separate. You cannot directly post the entry. First of all, something is parked, then somebody else has to park. It's a complete system.
Yeah. But most of the companies are getting their interfaces. Like all these big companies, they have the system already in.
Those who are online, any question, guys? No, Mahir, I'm good. Thank you. Okay. Anything else?
Hey, yes, I have a question. This is Sanjeev.
Sanjeev, first of all, let me know what's your background, so I will let you know according, because you were silent or you was away when I was talking.
Yeah, actually, my background is like I'm working as a SAP BPC guy.
SAP?
So,
Yes. Can you speak loudly? We are hardly listening you. I only heard the word SAP.
yeah, sure. Could you hear me now?
No, it's better.
Okay, so my background is in SAP BPC, planning and
SAP.
consolidation.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have been doing consolidation for quite some time, and also have knowledge of BW, and also some I can debug a app and stuff,
Got it.
I'm not a developer, but I can debug programs.
Yes, I can. So which state and city you are in? You are already working?
Yes, I'm already working. Yes, I'm already working. I'm in North Carolina.
Oh, you are in North Carolina. So all the time will be available online. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So my question was, as far as the consolidation is concerned, right? So to do the consolidation on simple finance, without having a BW layer in between, right? So what is the architecture look like, and do you think you're going to cover some of those aspects?
Architect I will only cover from SAP perspective is called business planning and integration for finance perspective. So that's basically where the BI content is there, and BI queries basically are involved because BPC is already embedded in the platform itself. So whatever SAP has provided us, I will go into the new release and provide all the material accordingly. But based on my knowledge and expertise, whatever I have, because BI content and BI queries, as well as some of the consolidations, everything basically is already, they have already given us in a precise manner.
Okay. Okay. So I guess that would be separate course, right, to understand how the extractions work from simple
These are
finance
SAP,
to.
if you wanted to go in that details, those are different, it's called developer courses are there.
Okay. Gotcha.
But
Okay.
whatever finance, under finance they have provided us, because I've totally followed SAP. Whatever the release they send, I will go into the 1605 release, whatever the max information I will get, and whatever the experience I have on BPC, I will provide you accordingly.
Okay.
But if you wanted to go in that particular detail, that's, yes, you have to go through. I can only refer to you some of the SAP BPC, but SAP BPC is already embedded. Whatever the content, because SAP BPC is not separately, will be coming on S4 HANA. They already embed it. And how they embed it, we go in that details. I can retrieve this information. I can give you the information as much as I know, and based on your query, I can provide you the information accordingly. But there's no separate course is available on S4 HANA specifically for SAP BPC. It's already, they have already blended and merged into it as a smart form. In the, some of the applications already embedded in the smart form, as well as some of the in the queries, or they have already merged and embedded it.
Okay. So do you also provide training in just FICO? Not,
Yes, FICO core module. Yes. In my previous class, I am the instructor from last 8+ years. So
Okay.
my last batch was there where I provided all the FI basic course, as well as CO, all the core FICO core modules basically I covered over there, and some of the treasury modules I covered over there.
Right. So see, I was just wanted to extend my skill set, in terms of like HANA. So what I was thinking is, because I already know BPC consolidation, planning, and I know BW, I can do a BAP, debug a BAP. So I was just extending my skill set to now the transactional
It's a
system.
very good, it's a
So
very
then,
good move, Sanjeev. I'm just letting you know, because you have already having a some kind of a technical skill set, and all technical skill sets relevant to your S4 HANA finance. My strong recommendation for you, being in the industry, and I've already seen that you have developed your core skill set in the areas of your financial applications, as well as in the areas of initially management accounting, which is aka controlling. Later on, once you have a very good hands-on FI and CO, though I will also cover in this particular course, then you have to develop your skill set in the areas of treasury. Right now, cash management powered by HANA is only communicating between three modules: bank accounting, cash and liquidity management, and bank communication management. But later on they will be in, because that's their synopsis already in the SAP labs, and they and some of the codings are already happening. They wanted to integrate with the treasury and risk management, in-house cash. Then later on they will go into it's called biller direct, credit management, dispute management. These are all basically financial supply chain or basic core treasury modules are there. So your scope will be in the future will be a tremendous, plus you already having a skill set in the areas of your is called development side is there. So it will be a very good blend. Instead of you will only move, because you have two other, on the flip side you have two other options. Either you go into BW4, BW/4 is called HANA developer, or HANA administrators. So these are the two positions are there. Here you are wide open, not only for FI applications, controlling application, as well as treasury application. And later down the road, if you have that kind of a skill set, then SAP will also go to industry specific solution like public sector, like utility, like IS insurance. That's basically your core skill set stay the same, but you will be also be available in those areas too.
would you recommend me for
Then you will become a evergreen tree after 3 to 5 years. And if you only do your BW for HANA developer as well as the administrator, then you are restricting yourself, not learning the core skill set in the areas of SAP applications. So that's my strong recommendation and suggestion. It's not that I'm advocating TekTaurus, but professionally, you ask me a question, and being a professional, I'm very transparent and open.
So one more question. Would you recommend me just going to the
Hopefully, I answer your question.
Yeah, could you hear me now? Hello?
We are not listening you if you are talking, because either you are talking to someone or are you listening us?
Yeah, I'm talking. Could you hear me?
No, no.
Okay, I'm sorry. Seems like some problem in the system. I was trying to ask you a question.
Sure, you can ask me again. Sorry.
Okay. So would you recommend me first going to the FICO training and then come to Simple Finance so that I have my all the...
You can even learn this same. You can see how much you can because you are already working in BPC. You already know lots
Right.
of functionality from FI perspective, as well as FI application perspective. Choice is your how basically you are feeling. Because I will
Okay.
teach general ledger. I will teach all the basic level of FI applications. I will teach over here general ledger. I will teach over because nobody is from SAP background. So if I only teach this
Right.
stuff, then might be I have to reduce as for some of the scenarios and give you the basic core line of general ledger, accounts payable and receivable, then fixed asset accounting, then profitability analysis, how cost center and profit center look like. So I have to be merged these courses and I have to take out some other details of this particular course. So this way you guys will feel blend and mix of these two courses.
Right. So what is there that you cover in FICO that you won't be covering in this training? What exactly you will be?
In FICO course, basically, I have to cover all the from global perspective, and we will discuss about general ledger, what is the business requirement of at a global scale, and what is the configuration perspective. I discuss in detail. Then similarly, accounts payable, receivable, fixed asset accounting, bank accounting, then cost center, profit center, profitability analysis, cash and liquidity management. So these are the things normally we'll cover. If some batch is allowed, we transfer. Some batch will say we will take care product costing. Then I have to discuss in details the product costing is also there. In this course, based on the transition scenario, as you have seen in my orientation, so we will go the S4 HANA based on the transition scenario, and based on the transition scenario, still we are touching the general ledger, not complete but partial. But instead of a partial, I will go in complete general ledger. Then we are still touching in this course is called asset accounting. So I will, instead of a partial, I will go in details your asset accounting. We are touching over here profitability analysis, a part, a partial. So then again I have to touch full, so in order to give you, so this way basically I am covering it. And then central finance scenario, some of the things basically I have to take out because this is a separate course and this is a separate course. So this way I will cover and mix of core course as well as this S4 HANA finance. Basically I cover mix and match.
Okay.
Hopefully I answer your question.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, that helps.
Any other question?
I'm just curious, what would you suggest people like me who does not have any background for the financial?
Suggestion, because I am already covering the basic course plus your S4 HANA course. So not fully core course and not fully S4 HANA finance, because I have to take it out. So this way you will be in a good position if some those who wanted to learn core as well as S4 HANA. So I will create this course accordingly because I have to rewrite and I have to create this course accordingly based on the audience.
And what's the job for the consultant? What they do?
Job of the consultant basically is implementation job is there, greenfield implementation is there, then system conversion is there, then consolidation is basically transformation is there. So they have to do understand the business requirements, buy configuration, test configuration, prepare documents, discuss with their stakeholder, communicate with their through email or through prepared document. That's basically job of the consultant.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other question, guys? If you do not have any questions, you can talk to your resource coordinator. He or she will give you when the class is basically started, and they will provide you the date of the starting of the class. And meanwhile, they will also, because TekTaurus already have their EHP server, but they have to rent their server from especially new release, because this new not everyone having a new release servers availability. I requested them that they have to rent out from the market, from open market. So they will provide you the access of this new server, and new server itself, its cost is $150 per month. So you can see if they are providing you 6-month access, so they are already pretty much giving you $900 of server cost. Plus they will provide you the ECC server cost is also there. So if you are providing just, they are taking the administrative expenses, just cooperate with them, whatever they said, and then work it accordingly, and they will communicate me that when is this next class is there, and I will be on your class. Strongly recommend those who are within 200-mile radius. They will strongly come into in-person class, and those who cannot, those who are far away and they're having a flight. In the past, people flew from Texas, from Tampa, from North Carolina. People in the past, they flew from different states to come into the class, and now they are a good consultant right now. So choice is your how basically you wanted to learn. I'm not forcing you, I'm not asking you. And those who wanted to be online, be strict, and you should have a regimented discipline. Whenever there's a break, so only that period of time you will away from your uh, you can say your laptop or your desktop, wherever you are, your workstation. Otherwise you should be very disciplined, just like a regimented discipline, and this way you will learn and move on. Apart from that, if you have any question, you can communicate to TekTaurus communicator Madhu, or whosoever is your resource coordinator, and he or she will reply you accordingly. If you guys